Welcome back to the channel. Boeing recently announced they're going to reacquire Spirit Aerosystems. I researched some articles and pulled statements they made in 2004 and 2005, and I wanted to compare those to the statements they're making today in 2024. And what we're going to notice is they don't always tell you the full or whole truth on why they're doing this. So all the links will be in the description so you can read the articles yourself. But let's go ahead and look at the articles and the excerpts that I've pulled from them. Boeing considers sale of huge Wichita plant, January 25, 2004. Boeing management has directed an extensive environmental survey of the Wichita site and a detailed valuation of site assets. Turner, vice president and general manager of Boeing Wichita, insisted such surveys are common. However, an employee who worked on the valuation analysis said his manager told him privately that the purpose of the work was to prepare the site for sale. Environmental surveys and asset valuations are common, especially when a company is selling its manufacturing facility. Purchasers need to know if the site is going to have any cleanup expenses that they may be on the hook for. Employees also are not stupid. They know what's going on. Boeing is probably doing a site evaluation and asset evaluation right now. Boeing considers sale of huge Wichita plant, January 25, 2004. Boeing wants to get away from such labor-intensive, high-overhead manufacturing because of cost. Boeing Wichita clearly fits in the lean global enterprise for Boeing, Turner said. Onex buys Boeing commercial plants, 2005. Boeing Company is selling its commercial aircraft plants to focus on design and final assembly. In 2004 and 2005, their reasoning was they wanted to get away from labor-intensive, high-overhead cost and focus on design and final assembly. Now let's look at what their reasoning is in 2024. Boeing to acquire Spirit Aerosystems, 2024. Commitment to aviation safety, best interest of the flying public, our airline customers, the employees of Spirit and Boeing, our shareholders, and the country more broadly. Fully align our commercial production systems to the same priorities, incentives, and outcomes, centered on safety and quality. Spirit Aerosystems announces acquisition by Boeing, 2024. This transaction is in the best interest of Spirit and its shareholders and will benefit Spirit's other stakeholders, said Patrick M. Shanahan, Chief Executive Officer of Spirit. Enable greater integration of both companies' manufacturing and engineering capabilities, including safety and quality systems. So the reasoning in 2024 is aviation safety and quality. Now, where was that concern back in 2004 and 2005? They hid their real motive, what's in the best interest of the shareholders, in a sentence outlining such things as airline customers, flying public, their employees. At least Patrick Shanahan, their new CEO, comes right out and says what's in the best interest of Spirit shareholders, full stop. Boeing sells Wichita plant, February 23, 2005. Harry Stonecipher, Boeing's chief executive, told analysts earlier this month he had no indications a sale would mean a decline in employment levels in Wichita. Starting from a great foundation, our objective is to build the most efficient and innovative company in the aerostructures industry, Seth Mirsky, a managing director of Onex, said in a statement. There have been terrible job losses at these plants over the last several years. We confidently believe that can be reversed. As Boeing looks to buy back Spirit Aerosystems' Wichita plant, bitter memories resurface, March 2005. It was Saturday, March 21st, 2005 to be exact. It was a day I spent sitting on porches in South Wichita with Boeing employees as DHL Express delivered packages carrying news of whether they should report to work the Monday after Boeing divested itself of its Wichita plant. I remember watching that bright yellow DHL truck as it moved down the street, stopping at every few houses to deliver those packages. And I remember the tears of the displaced workers, who were generally older and better paid after spending decades sweating and bleeding for Boeing, and thinking that their company had their back. Workers like Johnny D. Jones, a 32-year Boeing employee who wept when he got the letter from Midwestern Aircraft Systems, the placeholder name for what had been Boeing's Wichita division, later renamed Spirit Aerosystems. We regret to inform you that you will not receive an employment offer from Midwestern Aircraft Systems at this time. Jones' termination letter said, "Thank you for your interest in the new company and for participating in the employment process." The underlying reason for the sale was that Boeing wanted to cut costs by abrogating its labor contracts with its Wichita workforce. The sale gave Onex a free hand to make them all reapply for their jobs, shedding the higher-paid line workers and renegotiating contracts with the survivors. Boeing considers sale of huge Wichita plant, January 25, 2004. After the sale of the Spokane plant a year ago, some workers were laid off and others had their wages cut by 15%. When something like this happens and analysts come on board with no skin in the game and they tell you, oh, don't worry about your job, don't worry about your pay, everything's going to be fine, they don't know what they're talking about. Your job and your pay are always on the line when something comes about like this. So don't believe them. They're always going to lie. And I don't know what their motivation is to lie, because we all know what's actually going to happen. It happens every time. Just look at the history that we have, the example I have shown right here in the Spokane plant. Workers lost their jobs. Workers lost 15% of their pay. So you can't believe them when they say your job or your pay is not on the line. It always is. What's at stake for Wichita if Boeing buys Spirit Aerosystems? April 2024. I don't think people need to immediately worry about their jobs, said Jeremy Hill, director at the Center for Economic Development and Business Research at Wichita State University. The main takeaway should be that people's jobs are safe right now, Hill said. Boeing supplier Spirit Aerosystems lays off workers, citing lower plane delivery rates, May 2024. Spirit Aerosystems told staff in a memo, reported earlier that it would cut about 400 to 450 hourly employees, citing lower delivery rates. It's the same old story, same old song and dance, my friend. You sit on a throne of lies. Onex buys Boeing commercial plants, 2005. Onex's new aerospace company, which has yet to be named, would include investors from Boeing management. Also undecided is how many Boeing workers would be hired at the new company. Those decisions are still awaiting negotiations with union officials. Onex plans to form a new company to run the plants, which will be led by Jeff Turner, who is currently the vice president and general manager of Boeing's operations in Wichita and Oklahoma. CEOs since sale to Spirit Aerosystems. Jeff Turner, a Boeing executive, 2006 to 2013. Larry A. Lawson, a Lockheed executive, 2013 to 2016. Lockheed and Boeing have been in a joint venture called United Launch Alliance since 2006. Tom Gentile, General Electric executive, 2016 to 2023. GE is a Boeing supplier. Patrick Shanahan, a Boeing executive, 2023 to the present. So who's in control of Spirit? Spirit has had 4 CEOs since its creation. 2 of them ex-Boeing executives. 2 of them with interest aligned with Boeing. So you have a GE exec, provides engines for Boeing, and Lockheed exec, which is in a joint venture with Boeing. Plus there's more. Boeing wants to buy back the company that builds the body of its troubled MAX planes, 2024. About $3.9 billion of Spirit Aerosystems revenue last year came from Boeing, making up about 64% of its overall revenue. Spirit has had its own series of quality control issues in recent years. The problems had become serious enough that Boeing had agreed to give it more money to try to improve Spirit's quality and reliability issues there, hurting Boeing's own output. The payments came to an extra $60 million in revenue last year and $395 million in 2024 and into 2025. What company gives a supplier $455 million over the course of 3 years? None that I know of other than Boeing. So what does that say? Why are they giving it to them? Is it because that's the only place they can get that product? Possibly, but it's a fair question. Nobody does that.
Right? The significance of the passage of time. So when you think about it, there is great significance to the passage of time.
The significance of time is that no matter how much time goes by, they're always going to act in the same way. We know this, but we seem to forget sometimes. So those are my thoughts. Those are the things I found. What say you? Leave it in the comments. Make sure to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Peace out.